Dreams, dreams, dreams. What do they mean? Do they mean anything? Could they unlock the secret to our innermost thoughts and feelings? Or are they just little mini movies that occupy your mind while you sleep? Many believe that we can learn a lot from our dreams.
Earlier this week, when we talked about one of Jaylyn's vivid and realistic dreams, and she regularly remembers her dreams, and I don't remember dreams at all, ever. I can't remember. Maybe it's there for a blink and I just don't remember it. I don't know, and we'll figure that out. To help us decipher what this is all about, we're joined by Pearl Gregor. She is here. She's a former school teacher, principal as well. That's right, vice principal, and she's also a consultant for Alberta Education while working towards her doctorate at UBC, and she is now a dream worker, and she joins us here in Studio T.
Welcome, Pearl. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you here. Thanks for taking the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can you tell us, to start with, what is a dream worker?
What is a dream worker? I do a couple of things. I have individual clients who come out to my home. I've got one young fellow who comes regularly every week for a couple of hours, and I teach him how to work with his dreams.
So he tells you what his dreams are.
He tells me what his dreams are, and then we do a whole host of strategies, anything from clay work to dance work to drawing to writing. Often we talk about and try to figure out, well, what would that symbol possibly mean? Because it could come from a deep place in his unconscious, and then it's going to be brand new to him, and he hasn't thought about that before.
Where did your fascination and where did this journey begin for you to want to work your way towards being a dream worker?
Journey began August 11th, 1988, if you want to be really specific.
Okay, what happened?
Well, I had been, I guess I might as well just say, I've been clinically depressed for a lot of years. And so I was kind of reached the end of my tether as to whatever psychiatrists, drugs, or whatever could possibly do. And a sister-in-law of mine sent me a box of books. And in the box of books, there was a particular book that said, A Christian Approach to Dream Work. And it said in the book that I could ask for a dream. Well, I'd had nothing but nightmares since I can't remember.
Okay.
And so I asked for a dream. So, Mark, if you want a dream, what you do is, tonight you put a nice journal beside your bed and a pen, and you say to yourself, I will remember a dream tonight.
It's that simple?
It could be that simple. It has happened for many people.
Okay.
And that's what the book told me, and so here I am, 26 years later, working with people in their dreams.
And you're not a dream analyst. Like
I'm not an analyst, no.
You're taking the dreams and then trying to figure out what it means to someone, or what the journey could be, or what was, or what
That's
could be.
exactly right.
I got
because I am fully believe that we have within ourselves the answers. Now, we're going to go outside and research. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher since 1968, one way or another. So this is, for me, a natural extension of teaching.
So when you started working, asking for your dream and working towards that, did that help with your depression and it helped you with your illness through that?
Absolutely. I worked through that. It took quite a few years.
Yes.
And I worked, and I also went first for professional help. I mean, if you're dealing with something like clinical depression, you don't go to the local dream worker. You go to a psychotherapist who will help you with that level of dream. And so that's obviously what I did. And I worked with them on my own because I am what's called an introvert. And I like to work on my own, and I like to figure things out within my own self rather than outside of me. And so I ended up in New York in 1990 studying dreams with some people down there for a couple of weeks. I've read, well, as one of my grandsons asked one time, Grandma, have you read every book in the world? No, not quite, but I've read a lot of them, particularly in dreams, and I've done a lot of work on it. And I've recorded and worked on it.
When you're talking about recording dreams, what does that mean?
It means take a notebook, write down, put the date.
Okay.
Today is April 4th, 2014. In my dream, and then write down exactly what you saw in your dream.
And so how will that help? Can you start to see?
You will begin to see it. Well, first of all, a really simple strategy is to look at the nouns in your dream.
Okay.
Just because they're people, places, or things.
Yes.
There comes the teacher again.
I was going to say, oh my gosh, I'm back in grade 6. Noun, which one is that?
Which one is the noun? It's the people, place,
You
or
pay
thing.
attention,
I'm
Nine.
going to.
You pay attention.
Pay attention. And so, I mean, there's some simple things that may show up in a dream. That, for example, your house. The house of your parents. So there'll be a setting for your dream. Dreams are like a drama. They're a play. There'll be a setting, there'll be a plot, there'll be characters in your dreams, and you're starting to look at all of those things, and then you sit with that dream, and maybe you take, I don't know, you love your dogs.
That's right.
So maybe your dog shows up in a dream, but it's more than just your dog. Dogs have a deep, deep significance. And I don't want to go into what they might mean, because for each person, because you love dogs, it might mean more to you, and it might be deeper, and you might dream more about dogs. But they are a symbol of healing by and large.
Pearl, I'm coming at this from the perspective as I don't remember. Okay, so and I figured out we've had a lot of folks who have connected with the show and said, yeah, I'm with you there. I don't.
Yeah.
But before we get into talking about that, can we talk? You mentioned about the imagery in dreams. Are dreams like a slideshow of your life to date, and that's where we're dragging the images out of, or is it things that haven't happened yet? Like, are they predictors, or are they
all of the above?
Review.
All of the above.
Okay.
For example, your dreams may be coming from a deep unconscious level. So you may have symbols or events in the dream that you don't actually have never experienced in your life.
And these are things to come in my...
No.
Okay.
No, they're just going to tell you a story about, for example, if you've ever heard of the Eleusinian Mysteries. No? Okay. Well, I did hear about the Eleusinian Mysteries in a dream. I had to get up that morning and try to figure out how to spell it. It turns out they're ancient women's rites, spiritual rites, way back, and I found all kinds of material once I went searching for it. So obviously it was a dream that had significance for me as an individual person given my particular history, but it went deeper than my consciousness or my memory. I certainly don't remember it. It puzzles people.
So, but could it have been a possibility that somewhere in your years of teaching that you might have read a little bit and you'd forgotten about and it came back?
It could have been. That's
at
possible.
That time? Okay.
Some people will say, well, that's, you just don't remember that part, but you really did read it. And I would say, according to Carl Jung, no, that's not necessarily true. Okay. It may have been, we actually have a history going back to 3+ million years. Human psyche is old. We live in a culture that's very rational. And so we think we know or should know, and if we can't see it, it doesn't exist. If you can't prove it scientifically with a controlled experiment, well, it maybe doesn't exist. I would suggest it exists. It's going back a very long way.
Mark says he doesn't remember his dreams, or he doesn't think he dreams.
I dream, though, right?
Oh, you
Everyone
sure
dreams.
do.
Yeah, okay.
You wouldn't be healthy if you didn't.
Right on.
Yes, you would not be a healthy person. And the biology of it, you can read all about it in a textbook.
So why would he not remember his dreams, for instance, and I have these incredibly vivid dreams? What's the difference in people? Do you know?
I'm not entirely sure. Because
is there a window that I'm just missing?
There's a window that you're just missing.
I figured that.
You are probably, if you really want to, you will remember them. Our consciousness is very strong. Our ego consciousness is very strong. And perhaps it's just maybe you're daydreaming.
That could be easy.
Now he's going to laugh. But that's the number one mark of a creative person, Mark. So don't let anybody laugh at you.
Did you hear them laughing there?
I did. I caught that.
I see that.
I know.
I didn't dream that, right?
That could have been a fantasy.
So would a daydream be the same as a nighttime dream?
It won't be the same, but it's one of the strategies that we use to try to deeply understand a nighttime dream. We go into a deep meditation and we pretend, I guess you will, for lack of a better word. We go inside and we play with that. And we try to imagine, because our imaginations get pretty short shrift in our culture. Imagination is a very strong aspect of being fully human. We reach a lot more potential if we can expand our consciousness, and dreams help you to expand your consciousness, to get in touch with that.
Can you answer why dreams seem to be so kooky? Like they're, 1 minute you're riding a unicorn, next minute you're trying to get Easter baskets with Mark to get to work into an elevator that I can't make it work, and next thing you know, Alfie Zappacosta is my taxi driver. Like it's so random. It doesn't seem like they flow.
Okay, in 2 minutes, no, I can't.
Okay.
However,
take your time.
If we had, for example, some nice poster paper up on a wall, and you began to illustrate those dreams, you would begin to see connections.
Oh, okay.
Between them, as a matter of fact.
So it's not as random as it appears.
It's not as random as it appears. We're quite a logical, sequential culture. English language is quite logical and sequential. Dreams are the language of imagery and symbolism. And so you learn the language of dreams, and obviously it takes more than a little bit of time.
Pearl, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about recurring dreams as well. Okay.
We're speaking with Pearl Gregor. She is a PhD, and she is a dream worker, and she's the founder of Dreams Along the Way. 22 minutes after 3. We're with Pearl Gregor. And Pearl is with her organization is called Dreams Along the Way. You can go to her website, dreamsalongtheway.com, and you can sit down and she's a dream worker, and you can sit down with her, I understand, Pearl, and go through your dreams and try to ultimately, why do people want to go through the dreams? Are they trying to figure things out? Are they trying to understand themselves?
Generally, they're trying to understand themselves. I would call Dreams and Wellness would be a perfectly good title. If people, we're in the midst of a whole self-help sort of culture. People are looking constantly, and often they're going outside themselves. I'm saying go inside yourself and look to develop your own potential, your own possibilities, your own ideas. People manifest artwork through their dreams. They manifest books through their dreams. They solve many problems.
Songs,
all manner of things. Exactly. Or at least the idea came to me in a dream. Yeah, I have to work with it, but fair enough. That's a really good start. Throughout history, we've had inventions that have come to being. The sewing machine comes to mind. The guy had a dream about how that thread would come up with a needle. So we can manifest, and we can develop and invent and innovate and be very creative.
This may come from left field, but do dreams and sleepwalking connect?
Not that I know of.
Okay, because I wonder if that's you're living something and you're actually physically working through something.
I would want to research that before I went there.
All right.
What about recurring dreams? Recurring dreams, and I've had one since I was a kid, probably 10 years old, and now I'm 40-ish, and it still happens.
Still coming.
Is that something I should be paying attention to?
Yes.
Okay.
What the literature will say about recurring dreams is it's something that your psyche is attempting to tell you that you haven't yet heard the message. I might call it a slap upside the head.
Okay.
To put it bluntly.
So what should you do if you have a recurring dream?
Recurring dream, write it down.
Okay.
Do some work with it. Draw it.
What if it's negative? You got to work
Draw
through
it anyway. Write a story about it.
Okay.
I've had one or two young folks come or their mom comes and says they're having these nightmares. I say, well, write it down. Get the child to draw it as a story. It's not much different than Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. I mean, that's the story there. That's how that fairy tale came, more than likely from a dream to begin with. We learn a lot about dreams from fairy tales. Marie von Franz wrote books about dreams and fairy tales. So we know there's linkages to all that symbolism when we know nightmares are trying to wake us up.
Do you have any idea how people have come to determine what certain symbols mean in a dream? Because so your teeth are falling out. What do teeth mean in a dream? How does that happen?
Well, teeth falling out is one of those ones that people go and look in a dream dictionary, which I highly unrecommend.
Okay.
Is that proper grammar?
Why would you suggest not to do that?
Well, because that's someone else's outside story.
Got ya.
That's why I say I teach you how to work with your dreams. Then you are independent. Because that dream is going to come, teeth, for example, are often, if you go to a dream dictionary, because I've been asked this question a lot, well, doesn't it mean you're going to die? Probably not. Not anytime soon, especially if you're 32. So you want to look at teeth and the transformation of food. Nurturance. Maybe it's transformation of some aspect of your life. What do teeth do? They actually transform carrots into something your body can use.
Interesting.
So maybe you're not transforming something, and so you're stuck. It's just kind of interesting that we want to put it into a little box and say, well, it means this. It could mean lots more.
So all of those websites that I have spent hours on over the years saying, okay, I had a dream about an eagle last night. That's what it means. I should probably turn my nose at that.
You do what you like.
Okay. Okay. All right. I see what you're saying. Again, you're not going to tell anyone what to do with their dreams.
What to do. You asked my students for the university last year. It's not where I come from.
Yeah.
It's really... I'm looking for people who are critically able to think and interpret and work with. Working with. It's a lot better for you than if I tell you. You know those teachers who told you things? What good did it do?
Oh, I wish I had you as a teacher when I was a kid. Although Sean texted in earlier and said that he was afraid of you.
Yeah,
he said he was scared of you. I find that hard to believe.
I'm really, really frightening.
Pearl, can we're going to take a break and check in with Eileen Bell in the 630 newsroom, get the latest updates and what's happening. But let's talk, if we can, when we come back after that. Love to talk to you about, we should check in on night terrors and nightmares and all that kind of stuff. And we'll continue our conversation here. And folks, want to let you know that there's actually a workshop happening on between April 11th and 12th with you, Pearl, correct? How do folks, do they go to your website?
Go to my website.
Which is dreamsalongtheway.com. That's dreamsalongtheway.com. Maybe you're someone that wants to sit down and work through some of your dreams. Well, we have a perfect person that can help you with that. It's
love to see you.
Pearl Gregor. It's dreamsalongtheway.com. That's happening April 11th and 12th.
Why are you having the new dreams? You can figure that out too. New dreams.
Well, and then the falling dream, like always falling. Like there's lots more.
New dreams.
Pearl, you're not going anywhere. You're staying right here. We've got more to talk about right after this. 3:37. We're back with Pearl Gregor, PhD, dream worker, and the founder of Dreams Along the Way.
And a few more minutes with her.
We have a few more minutes. She's got to roll.
Get out to the farm to pull a calf.
We hope no pulling. No pulling.
Can you briefly describe your thesis for your doctorate?
My thesis for my doctorate, yes. I used dreams first as the basis for the analysis of a novel. And the novel is written by Carol Shields, unless took the four characters in the dream, which are four women, were the main characters, and then used them as symbols so that you can read the novel as if it were a dream. So it's the subjunctive curriculum, the as if, the imagination. So I use as if in dream work all the time. So I think my dissertation for me is very, very, very interesting because it tells a personal story and puts it together with academics. And personally, I think we need a lot more as if in the curriculum with students because their imagination is so powerful, and we don't often tap into that resource.
How do you journal correctly? Mark, wants to start trying to do this. How does one journal dreams correctly?
Well, I've got a whole list of things that you can put in your journal because your dream needs a context. So you write down your dream in present tense as if it were happening right now. So you're living in the moment. And then what's happening in your life? Because let's face it, some months, some years are very calm and serene, and things go along the way we plan them. And then we get a new baby, and so maybe Mark's dreaming about fatherhood, and holy smokes, there's responsibilities, and so that the dream may shift a little bit and take on a different direction. So we want to have that noted in our journal. We want to look at, like, what are the questions I'm asking myself today? What are my deepest questions? Like the eternal question, who am I? Who am I when I grow up? I'm old, but I seemingly still have a lot of growing up to do. So you're young. You've got lots of growing up to do. What are you going to be? So and then crazy and weird and wonderful ideas and innovative, just the nutsoid stuff that comes to you. Oh, I don't want anybody to see that. Well, your journal is yours.
The benefit of doing a journal, does it sort of empty things out and allows you to read? Otherwise, do you get clogged?
I don't think you get clogged, because I think we're only using such a small percentage of our mind that we're never going to get clogged up. But I think what it does, it brings it to the surface. It brings it up.
What about nightmares and night terrors?
Those are, because I suffered many years from nightmares. And I wish that we knew more about it, but they're basically a way to get your attention. They are desperately trying to have you look at what has happened or what is happening. And psyche seemingly has struggled to get your attention for a long, long time. Or even with little children, it might not even be that serious. It might be quite simple. You know, I can tell stories forever. Grandchildren dreaming of a coyote chasing him. He had just had a tonsillectomy. And when we sat down and wrote about it, I asked him what the coyote was saying to him. And he closed his eyes and he thought for a minute and he said, he says he just wants to give me my voice. Well, and here he'd been worried that this coyote was chasing him in the dream. And it was a nightmare. It was a really simple thing. Now, I'm not talking about children who've had horrible, abusive childhoods. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about straightforward, ordinary kinds of things that we term nightmares.
And then a night terror is an even louder slap up against the side of the head?
I would be seeing somebody about a night terror that persisted. I don't think, I have a PhD in education, not psychiatry or not psychotherapy.
When do you go to that level? When do you turn?
If somebody were coming to me and I can see that it's actually getting worse, I would be going, you know what? I am not the person to see.
Okay.
That's not my area of expertise.
We don't have much more time with you. I know you have to get going, but the nude dream, because everyone seems to have the nude dream.
Everyone seems to have the nude dream. I heard Mark talk about it yesterday, the nude dream. Teachers have the nude dream in August because, oh my gosh, they're facing a whole new class of students. People have the nude dream when they're going to somewhere they've probably never been before, or they're going to talk at a conference they've never talked at before, and there's 1,000 people there. Think about it. Why would you have the nude dream? This is not rocket science. Seriously. Why? You're coming to work in the nude. Why do you put on clothes?
Well, to cover up, so people don't see that big old mess.
Well, and why else do you put on clothes?
Keep warm.
To keep warm. Why else do you put on clothes?
To look nice
to
for
look
people?
Good. It's your persona.
Okay.
And you're afraid if you go in front of a bunch of people, they're going to know who you really are.
Okay.
Who you really are is just your birthday suit. Just the way you came.
Gotcha.
That's who you really are.
Yeah.
And of course, sometimes we're afraid of being seen.
Yes.
That's my explanation.
Oh, I could spend all out. I got to come out and see you.
You'll have to come out and see me, because I could spend days at it too.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can actually, if you're listening and you would like to maybe work through your dreams, there's a workshop to check out. It's April 11 and 12. Pearl leads the workshop. You can register by going to dreamsalongtheway.com. Briefly describe what will happen at the workshop.
What will happen in the workshop? We'll open on Friday night at 7 o'clock, and I will explain what dreams are, where they come from, why you should keep a journal, and then we'll go quickly into, okay, let's try this, because people are really wanting to share. So one of you, Mark, is there, and I say, somebody got a dream they'd like to share. It's all voluntary. Nobody's put on the spot. There's rules for dream work. There's ethics around dream work. You don't run off telling everybody else somebody else's dreams or things that were embarrassing for them. And you don't tell them what their dream means, because I'll chop your fingers off. So it's really simple. We play a game called As If. And Mark tells us his dream, and then Jaylyn says, if that were my dream, it might mean da-da-da-da-da-da. And she says what it might mean for her. And there's a circle of 8 people, because I only take 8 people.
Okay.
because then we can all share. It makes it really worthwhile. So by the time 8 people have said, well, if that were my dream, you got a whole raft of new ideas. And then the next day we carry on from there, and we work in several different strategies. Piece it all together.
I know you've got to go, but I have one, and I'm sure we'll see it down the line again, Pearl, but for those of us that are having a hard time to remember the dreams, your advice again is to, like, will it? Like, can you?
Well, will is a strong word, but I would. My advice to you would be take a dream journal, a nice book, and put it beside your bed. Put a pencil, piece of a pen, something to record your dream with, a writing instrument of some kind, or you're a radio guy, or tape recorder.
Okay,
and you can just speak it into your tape recorder, and then you wake up.
But do I go to bed thinking I'm going to try to remember?
I'm going to remember a dream.
So talk, have a little chat with yourself.
Have a little chat with yourself. Right. Get nice and quiet.
Pep talk. All right.
Incubate a dream.
Okay.
Good luck.
Pearl Gregor, thank you for shedding light on this fantastic. Pearl's website again, dreamsalongtheway.com. You can find out everything you need to know and connect through that.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Pleasure. All the best.